What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley. We back again today. Nope, I didn't do sports last week, so I'm gonna go in today. Because last night, man, I don't know. I got Mr. Reid joining me once again. Covers the Jaguars for the Florida Times-Picayune. But man, we got to start off talking about the game last night and the Warriors and the Lakers. It's funny. LeBron does not like the play-in game. He was like, whoever came up with it should be fired. He hates it. But he's not the only one. He caught some backlash for saying it, but it's a lot of guys around the league just don't like it. But if the NBA had a case to make about keeping it around, last night's game was all you need. If they said, well, why do you do the play-in game? See Warriors versus Lakers in 2021. Because that game had everything. I mean, drama. I mean, it's like is almost a win or go home feel to it. It gives the end of the NBA season a little more peppering. It's a little more sauce, because once you get down to like the last 20 games, I don't pay attention at all. Yeah. I don't pay attention to the NBA at all. Yeah. So LeBron and the Warriors and the Lakers, man, it was just a great game last night.
Yeah, it was. Steph was pretty good. LeBron was pretty great. And, I like, the Warriors came to battle, man. Yeah. The one thing that people got to complain about in a play-in game, like, why would the loser of last night's game and in the game earlier than that have a second opportunity to play a second game to get in the playoffs,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the argument of the whole thing. I can almost predict that I think the Warriors, to me, is a better team than the Spurs. So
yeah. Before they even play, they are.
So you would think that the Warriors would go in. I mean, what would they go in? They'll go in as an 8th seed if they win, right?
Yeah, going in as 8th seed. So they got is it Utah?
Yeah, Utah.
I think it's Utah.
Mm-hmm. Phoenix to play the Lakers. It's 2-7, which would be a great series. But I don't fault. I don't fault the NBA trying something different. I do think it's a little unfair for the 7th seed to go in and say if the Lakers would have lost, then they would have to come back and play that second game to get in. But I always think that the NBA always try to do things. I think they listen to their players, obviously, but I think they also respect the fan in a way that they're not afraid to try something different,
Yeah.
But they did it with the All-Star game. They've done it with this. And I don't think David Stern would have. I don't think he would have made some of the changes that's going on now with the league. Particularly, I mean, I can understand a play-in game. They went to a 72 season.
So yeah,
it matters about winning. I mean, it matters. Yeah, it matters about winning, but it also matters about dollars.
Yeah.
But I would assure you that any of those teams, especially just say the 9th seed, the Spurs, it gives their fan base something to be excited for, even if they playing, they're basically assured to play 2 games, so they're staying their season at least a week. So, I mean, it's nothing. I feel there's nothing wrong with that to keep your fan base excited until the end. I see a fan base like New Orleans. New Orleans blew every opportunity that they had to stay in the race. So it also exposes.
Charlotte too.
Yeah,
Charlotte should have been Charlotte should have been in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I see nothing wrong with that, but I wonder will they do it again with 80. I'm assuming they'll go a full 82 season this upcoming year. I wonder will they try it again.
Right. Like Silver and them caught backlash because they started the season so early. A lot of players didn't like it, and the players were right in their concern because injuries were piled high this year. It happened to the NFL as well. Starting the season the way both did, they piled up the injuries. But like you said, that money, money talks, man. Like, hey, yeah, we gonna get some injuries. Yeah, LeBron, you got hurt. Hey, AD, you get hurt. Yeah, we got some big stars who will go down or whatever, but we have to get the train off on the tracks because if we don't get back in the groove of things, we're going to lose money. And the NBA's ratings have been dipping for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So you man, so and the ratings are dipping when LeBron James is still playing great. So imagine what it's going to be like once he leaves the NBA. I really hope this next group is ready to take the mantle because they're going to have a dip in viewership once LeBron James hangs it up.
So you might disagree with me, but a guy like Zion Williamson, I don't know, he just don't. I mean, he's a great player, but he don't push the needle yet for me. I mean,
Not yet.
no,
Not yet.
He's a good player. He can drive to the basket, make some exciting dunks, but I don't know. It just seems like the personality doesn't come away from the court or something. Like he's real cerebral or just a down. I mean, they're like a low key guy to me. He don't show a whole lot of electricity and excitement. But I think they got a reason to be concerned a little bit, man. I think the league, you don't want to be like neutral. You don't expand your audience. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at Toronto's situation with the Canada that they couldn't play in Canada and they just had a disaster season.
They
And
did.
Lord knows I done seen Detroit about 15 times, boy. Detroit might be like the worst team. So
Yeah.
parity has its advantages and parity has its disadvantages. And I just think that, you know, maybe people need to see a little bit more of the same teams continue to win. Like, it's a great story in Phoenix with Monty Williams, and you take a guy like Chris Paul and put them on that team and see how well they develop. And
Yeah.
nobody predict that they would have a season like a 50-win season. Nobody could predict that, and they're playing in the Pacific. But I mean, you go back to the East. Boston had a down year. The Knicks was a surprise. Philly, you don't know. Like, I think most of the fans in Philly just want to see what will they do in the playoffs. They're not really worried about them winning 50, whatever they won this season in the regular season. They want to see what they're going to do in the postseason.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So
It's down. It's a lot of teams, if you really look at it, has been down for the last 2 years. San Antonio ain't been San Antonio. Houston basketball franchise is it's similar to their football franchise. And then you got a Hawk team, but nobody really have seen them really. You don't
yeah.
really go they're never on national television, so probably
Oklahoma City was terrible.
yeah, they were absolutely terrible. So I think the league I don't know, have to get back and maybe just have you gotta. It's a league of stars, and if you don't have stars on your team, then you're not worth watching. Basically, outside of your market. So
Yeah. And I think that's where a guy like one thing about LeBron James is that even once he hangs it up, he's going to stay involved in the NBA. I mean, he's been trying to get his way into ownership already. What he wants. He wants the Cavaliers. He wants the Cavaliers bad, but yeah, your boy's not. He's not giving it. He's not giving it up. I don't see it.
They gonna give it up.
He's not giving it up, man. I don't see him giving it up. Just out of a grudge. Even if he was thinking about selling it or wanted to sell it, the fact that LeBron is interested in it, it's to the day he die, and then he's gonna like pass it down probably now. Because it just seems like that relationship I don't think is ever going to be repaired.
I don't think. Even when he came back, I don't think that relationship built up to where it was when he first went there. So I don't know. But I will say this about Cleveland, man, in football and basketball. Cleveland may have the best loyal fan base in America.
Yeah, yeah, they might. Yeah, they might because I don't think I've seen the dog pound. I haven't even seen that empty. They went 0-16 one year. Jaguars went up there and almost dropped the game during that 2017 season, and those fans were ravenous, man. I was like, golly, you know what I mean? There's no win in sight, and they were there, man. So you're right. Same with the Cavaliers. Cavaliers,
And
they packed.
I mean, they know the game. They there. They, you know, LeBron long gone, and these guys they got now. I mean, the Kevin Loves and people like that. They adapt them, and they still cheer for them, even though what they 13 games out from making a playoff spot, but they still there. So you gotta commend them. You know, I don't want to talk trash Cleveland, but you know it's. But it's a great sports town, man. I've seen that up close, man. They got great fans, and they very they know the game. You know, I don't know how they are in baseball, but I know in football and basketball. I mean, they're there till the end, man.
Well, it's Indian fans here in Jacksonville. I know a couple of Indian fans here, and they've been Indian fans since they were little. Some of them from Cleveland, some of them from here, but even the Indians have their fans as well. But last night it's funny, man. I was in here. I think I was cooking or something, and I was like, "Oh man, the game's coming on." So I looked up. The game had already started. It was 14-2, and the Warriors were up. And I was like, I started panicking. I was like, man, let me get to where my phone at, where my computer, where my TV. Let me get it on some device so I could watch the game. And I turned it on, man. And dude, LeBron, Dennis Schroeder, and Anthony Davis were awful. Absolutely awful in the first half. A collective 3 for like 30 or something like that in the first half. LeBron looked like he was gimpy, no lift. Dennis Schroeder looked kind of out of sorts. Anthony Davis doesn't quite look like himself. His shot is off. And I was like, man, this does not look good. But they had key guys come in. Alex Caruso in the first half of those 12 points really kept him afloat. He played lockdown defense on Steph Curry from time to time. Steph had 37, but in the second half, the Lakers turned the defense on. I was telling a coworker today, I said, the one thing about the LA Lakers is that they've been injured. Those guys haven't played together much, so chemistry is down. You could tell they're still kind of, look like they're still working their way back from injuries and stuff. I said, but defense is something that they do in their sleep. And I think that's a Frank Vogel thing. Frank Vogel is a great defensive coach. Frank Vogel put Anthony Davis at the 5, and it was a wrap after that, man. It's just like they went to work and the points just start coming in bunches.
Well, that's a good thing, man. When you can overcome a bad. I would say they didn't play Laker basketball for at least the first 3 quarters. Come back and you regroup and cut the lead. But I say this, I love the Lakers and all. But boy, I tell you what, man, I don't know if they would have won that game if he hadn't made that shot. I mean, I know it's obvious to say that, but boy, they was
yeah.
Man, it was like when it was that tied score, and it just looked like the Warriors wouldn't go away or something. And Draymond is Draymond and all that. But man, I tell you, you just look at this guy make this. I mean, it was just a miraculous shot, And I thought that play at the end of the game where they put they isolated Anthony Davis, put him at the top of the key to deny the ball to Steph, and that just I thought that was a great defensive play to put him out there on the top of the key there and deny. I mean, even if he would have got the ball, he would have had to shoot over Anthony Davis, but. Man, those are great strategic moves. When you got guys like that, you got Anthony Davis who can literally go out on the wing and contest.
Yeah, I mean that's why I said if these guys are fully healthy, if they can get and they're fully healthy, I don't see any team beating them in the 7-game series. You're going to beat them 4 times in 7 games. I don't see it because, like you said, them going back to defense. They're the number 1 defensive efficiency team in the entire league. So they're always going to go back to that. And they can play you in all sorts of ways. I mean, it really doesn't matter who you put out there in front of them. Frank Vogel seems like, and I knew he was a good coach because those Miami teams, it's a couple of times they should have won. And if it wasn't for LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, they could have beat the Miami Heat. But, superstars win. But Frank Vogel, without not for a lack of trying, man, he's a tactician. He's a defensive tactician. And he just put the pieces in place. He watched how, they did stuff, just started to put the pieces in place. And then, man, it took off from there. Steph Curry, it's funny. They came out on fire. And I figured that they would come out on fire the way they did. Mm-hmm. I just didn't expect LA to be asleep early. I mean, I would give the Warriors credit. They had a great defensive scheme. Draymond Green he was awesome. He only had 2 points, but on the defensive end, he hounded Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Hounded Anthony Davis. He was in Anthony's head. He got to Anthony early and often. Anthony, you don't see him argue much or really ready to fight on the court, but Draymond is a pest. So once I saw that, I said, man. And then they came out lackadaisical and LeBron looking gimpy. And I was like, man, this don't look good. But go back to what works. Play defense. And LeBron started passing the ball. And that's changed from there.
Draymond has always been able to get in Anthony Davis' head, even back when he was a rookie with the Pelicans. I mean,
I heard a stat that said that he's covered Anthony Davis more than any other player in the league. He's been on Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis faced him and it had more minutes on Anthony Davis than anybody else. Nobody's defended Anthony Davis more than Draymond Green.
And he talked trash to him the whole time. Yeah, you're an all-star. Show it to me. It don't look like one and all that kind of trash talk, man. I mean, that guy, he's good for the league, though. I mean,
yeah. It'd be boring without Draymond, man. Because I thought he was going to get a tech. I was like, Draymond, you better shut up. Stop talking. You're going to get another tech. You better shut up. Because they already gave him one early.
But some of the announcers thought that play he had on LeBron should have been a tech. But he had his arms.
His arms up,
washed up. So
I'm glad they didn't call it though. Call it. Yeah. I like when the refs don't make the game about them. NFL needs to take a page out of that book. But I love it when the refs don't make it about them, man. It's pretty good. So now Lakers. I think the Lakers beat the Suns. I don't see the Suns. I don't see the Suns beating the Lakers. I really don't see many of the lower seed teams winning. I think the top, except in the East. The East is a bit different. I think any of those teams are ripe for an upset from Brooklyn themselves, because if they're not fully healthy, they can get up. They can be upset. Oh, that's what I was going to bring up. Brad Stevens. I don't know if it was yesterday, what day it was. But he said he just don't see how they're going to be able to beat the Nets. Basically saying that, they're just too good. Now, personally, he did that on purpose. That's me personally. I think he did it on purpose. And I think it might probably lit a fire under the guys for the Celtics. They're going to come out hot. They're going to come out ready to go. But I don't think he did it as in like, oh, my God, I'm despairing because I'm going up against 3 superstars. No, I think he did it to motivate his team.
Well, that's a different motivation.
That is. It's different.
Red wouldn't have said that, though. Red Auerbach, he wouldn't have said that.
No.
I don't know about this Celtic team, man. I don't look like something. It just, to me, something ain't clicking.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're the 7th seed and all that, but man, I think they got a better team to be a 7th seed, and it just seemed like they started okay, and it just looked like they've been nosediving for the last couple of months. In my opinion, it just seems like I don't know. It looked like it's more going on than what we see or what we know about the ball movement and the shot selection. Tatum should get any shot that he wants. He's that good,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just something about the Celtics, man, and it don't seem like Brad Stevens can. I don't know, can do the ump or whatever you want to call it to get them to play as a cohesive unit. It just I don't
Yeah.
know. It seems
Yeah.
seems I don't know. It just seems something ain't right.
Yeah. They seem to be a little all over the place compared to Celtics teams in the past. Celtics teams in the past are very cohesive units, play
Mhm.
team basketball, ball never sticks, defend they lock down defensively. You know, if you can't play defense, you're not on the court. But it's been different this year, man. And part of it could be the early start to the season, guys
Yeah.
nursing injuries and things like that. Because they're still they're not young, but they're not a veteran laced team. You
Right.
guys, maybe 4 or 5 years under their belt. They don't have a whole lot of veterans under there, which is funny because young guys don't win in the NBA. Old guys do, and that's crazy to me. But old guys cost money, so you want to build young, and then that's what the Celtics are trying to do. But they're going through the growing pains of youth still right now.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that pans out. But one matchup I'm dying to see. I'm going to try to catch every game. Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks, man. Because dude, last year they should have lost. Clippers should have lost last year
Yeah.
to Luka. If Porzingis doesn't go down in the first game, they probably went home against Dallas. Because one thing we do know, Luka is going to get whatever he wants against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They can't stick him.
Mhm. Yeah. They almost like the Celtics of the West. I don't
Yeah,
know what the issue is, man. They like they play down to the competition, man. You can't blame
yeah,
that on Doc Doan. It might be the chemistry between Kawhi and Paul George.
yeah,
It just seems like it seems like you can watch them certain games and they on fire. They look like they can win a championship, and then 2 days later they just like they just like going through the motions.
yeah,
And I say sometimes like what you said about Anthony Davis too, man. Like it's just like you know it seems like sometimes you have to push his button.
yeah,
And that's the way the Clippers are. Somebody talk, bad about them, or the guard getting a little spat, then that like motivates them, and then they play good. But boy, I done seen some Clipper games where I'm
yeah.
like, wait a minute, you losing to the Pelicans? Are you losing to Memphis?
Right, right.
I'm like, man, you guys supposed to be up by 25 or something. Then I've seen them where they actually been up like they were up by against the 76ers and blew a lead, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Blew a lead, man.
it
So
won't
what do
shock
you?
me if they be out. I don't think they may not get past the second round. They may
I don't
not
think
get
so either.
past Dallas, to be honest. That's a tough matchup, man.
It is, and I think Porzingis is ready to go. So,
Is
man, I was telling my coworker, I said Luka has the average 30, and I think he can do that. I think he could
oh
do that in
yeah.
his sleep. 30 plus, but maybe like 31, 32 points per game. If you can get a double from Porzingis, if he can give you almost 20 and 10, that
Mhm.
would be perfect. That's what you need from him. Hardaway, give me 18 points. 18 points a game, give him about five dimes, 5 assists. And man, the Clippers will be in absolute trouble if you can get that kind of production from those three. Because the rest of the guys can chip in, where they can. But for those three, if those three are on their game, it's gonna be over for the Clippers, man, because they pride themselves on being, I remember when they got together, the best defensive backcourt in NBA history. I
Oh yeah.
said, dude. I said, well, if that's the case, then Luka is Michael Jordan because he dropped all kind of buckets on both their head in the bubble. So
Mhm.
if he can repeat what he did last time, they're not even the best tandem in the league, or probably in their conference if we want to go there. So We'll see. But
Watch out for
what do you think
Dallas.
about?
That's my prediction. Watch out for Dallas, and don't fall asleep on Portland. And don't worry about Denver.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not worried about Denver. Without Jamal Murray, they're playing with one hand tied behind their back. Jamal Murray, and this is not to disparage the other guys and Jokic, because I think Jokic probably might end up being MVP. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he's most likely going to be the MVP. But Jamal Murray is amazing, man. I hadn't really heard much about him before the bubble. I heard his name, but hadn't seen him play at all. And then in the bubble, I was like, "Yo, who is Murray?" I was like, "Who is this guy? This is Jamal Murray. I've been hearing about it, never watched play." And dude, he's that good, man. So yeah, Denver, I'm not really worried about. Phoenix, you got LA. Yeah. And then Portland, I like Portland. I like Portland over Denver. But over in the East, Philadelphia at number one. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, because at any given time, some Embiid could swallow wrong and he'll be out for a game. So I'm just saying that's how it goes. That's how it seems to go with them. But if they're healthy, they're scary. They're scary. They're scary if they're healthy and they're on. It's just that, can they make it out the East? And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey man, if Doc can go back to 2008, and
Right.
coach like he did with the Celtics, then they can get out. But he hadn't shown that in what, uh, 12 years
Yeah.
since that.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
did make it back the following year, but they didn't beat. They lost to the Lakers. But I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot riding on Doc, man. No. I mean, Doc is a great coach. He doesn't have much to prove and all that. But man, it's just he's never gonna live down those years with the Clippers when he couldn't take that team any further. And I think the people of Philadelphia thinking like, well, like I said earlier, that man, we don't care if we win 48 games and 50 games and we're number one seed and we can't get to the finals, or we get upset and or somebody get hurt at the wrong time. It just I mean, those fans done swallowed a bitter pill for a long time. They're tired of excuses,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. Hey, they've been playing a lot of Dwight Howard, so we'll see.
Yeah. And Dwight going through a divorce. Man, that girl was married to him for like 3 weeks, and she was like, "You know what? I'm out." But I saw that coming anyway. Because I saw her first saw her on Instagram. Her name Tia Cooper. She played for the Sparks, and I said, "Man, it's a gorgeous girl." I followed her, and I found out she was dating Dwight Howard, and I was like, dude got like 11 kids. And she's like 24, and I was like, yeah, this not gonna work. So yeah, and they getting a divorce. They just got married like a month ago, and she already filed for divorce, which is hilarious, by the way.
Oh, Dwight.
Oh yes, old Dwight. Now the story I want to see keep going, and I want them to go as far as they can, is the Knicks. I
Yeah.
think the Knicks, man, the Knicks are a fun team.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of their games. Derrick Rose is dude, 6 man of the year considerations. Julius Randle has transformed his game so much, man. It's what Jakari say. He said, "I want CP3 to win a ring." Hey, I would love to see CP3, climb that mountain, man. I got a Jakari. I got a coworker who doesn't think Chris Paul is a Hall of Famer.
Oh,
Like,
no.
he kills me, man. He kills me all the time because I don't know if he just don't like Chris Paul, but I'm like, dude, how could you say Chris Paul, who's, when you want to talk about point guards and you want to look at prototype, Chris Paul is it. He has everything you want in a prototypical point guard. They call him the point god. That's what they call him. So I'm like, dude, he's a Hall of Famer. But dude also didn't like Kyle Lowry until he won a championship. But, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm a CP3 fan, man. I think he's I think his track record speaks for itself. I think he does a lot of great things. You look what he did at OKC last year, and look at OKC after he left. You know, he's not an easy player to play with, though. I mean, he will get on you. He'll be just like a coach, you know.
Yeah, they say he's a bit of a bully.
Yeah, he get on you for a 6 foot bully, and you 6'9".
Yes. That's the most hilarious part to me is that he's game in and game out. He's one of the smallest players on the court, but he doesn't play like it, and his attitude sure isn't like it, man. He's a pit bull, man. It's crazy. The funniest thing with him and going back and forth with people and guys getting into it with him is him and James Harden relationship. You know, they say that was pretty bad, especially the way it ended. They say James got upset because Chris Paul told him James he was fat and he had man boobs.
Yeah, but I think also, man, that you know James Harden get to pick what site he want to practice at. What time they want to practice. He get to pick the hotel. He get to pick what bus they traveling on, what airline they going on.
Yep.
If he didn't want to practice on Wednesday, but the rest of the guys was forced to practice. So.
Yeah, they modify it so once he get out the strip club, he can come straight to practice. You know, all kind of crazy stuff. Yeah,
that's hard for another superstar who think he's on the same level as him, is James Harden, man, because that's why it didn't work out too well with Westbrook and CP, man. Those guys feel that I'm an all-star too. I deserve those privileges. He's not that much above me.
Yeah.
So that's, hey, man, and the NBA, boy, when they talking about that's, my team and all that, man, there's some egos in that locker room. There's some testosterone going on in that locker room, boy.
Yeah. That's why Brooklyn. If Brooklyn is healthy, the only team can beat Brooklyn is Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I will say there's a high possibility that something like outside of the bat on the court and outside of injury might derail them. It's a high possibility, man, because of the personalities that are in that locker room, because of the Kyrie Irving right now is an enigma. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from Kyrie Irving from week in and week out. Like, you don't know. Kyrie can go missing for a week or so during the playoff stretch, and they left wanting. So that's why Brooklyn is going to be fun to watch, because you're just waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't know if he's going to call in and say, man, hey, you think I can take a couple of days off? I need to think about who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah. Yeah. They say he the only NBA player that uses his PTO.
Yeah, he used all his time. He don't use a couple of them. He used like all of them, man.
All of them, man. All of them.
Be interested to see how that guard rotation go and see who, he's gonna continue to play off the ball or on the ball, and man, I don't know how that's gonna work, man.
Yeah. Don't know, man, but I'm looking for it.
He has to initiate. I know that.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna play off the ball, man.
No, he's gonna ball hog it, man. But I'm excited to see these playoffs, man. I think it's gonna be one of the best playoffs. The bubble, it's gonna be hard to recreate what they got in the bubble, but I think it's gonna be a great playoffs. It's gonna be a lot of drama. Some teams who are favored to win are gonna lose. So we're gonna see how it is, man. But this Trent. Yeah, go ahead.
It was good to see fans. I mean, that Laker game, boy, they might have had
6,000.
It was 6,000. All of them was on the lower bowl, because it looked like the lower bowl was like a lot of people.
Yeah, it was. They said that's what gave the game the feel it did, having that crowd there. Yeah, that crowd gave it a totally different feel. Even though the bubble games were great without a crowd, and it was crazy how they were able to pull that off. But having those fans is a different feeling. Different feeling.
At least get some home court advantage a little bit.
Yeah, at least a little bit. Yeah, at least a little bit, man. So, man, let's get into this this Tebow talk, man. So I know I know you've been hearing everything, man, from people talking about him, and I done had people messaging me, people I ain't heard from in months, hitting me up about Tebow. And they're like, man, what y'all doing with Tebow? A buddy of mine, Kirkson, just tagged me in the thing about Tebow, saying that the Jaguars signed Tim Tebow as a distraction. So they won't see that Lawrence is going to be an average player. So they signed Tim Tebow to distract them, to distract us from Lawrence being an average player. And I'm just like, come on, man, Lawrence is going to be
player. Nah,
yeah.
I've seen him with my own eyes, and he's not average. Believe that. I mean, I don't hype up anybody from what I've seen at that position with the Jaguars. But believe me, I'm telling you from what I saw and everybody else on that field, this guy throws the ball with velocity, and he throws everything. It may not have been out of all his 38 throws, it might have been 2 that was bad out of that whole practice last week. Everything he throws with the ball spinning in spirals. So, I mean,
yeah,
the guy, hey, I don't know how it's going to pan out and what's going to happen, how many wins and all that. But from what I saw, he can throw the ball, and it goes to the numbers. His balls don't wobble. They ain't like a receiver got to go up and make this spectacular jump and catch and all that. 90% of his passes is zipping right, like when you catch it, you catching it like right in the middle of your numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, Blake Bortles, I can go down and call roll call. Garner Minshew,
Blaine Gabbert.
Anyway, none of them got that type of zip and that accuracy like I saw. And yeah, it was the first practice, and he's on a pitch count. But believe me, and if I saw something different, I'll say it. But man, this kid got a zip on. I mean, he can throw it. He can throw accurately. Now, they got to protect him, but
yeah,
it was. I mean, it was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, from the video, man, I was like, man, I ain't seen spirals like that in forever.
The ball is like literally
just
spinning. It's spinning, man.
Like this. And I said, how can you doubt Trevor Lawrence? Like, I don't understand. How can you doubt him? Like, but he's going to have his doubters, but he's going to have his day. He's going to have his chance to prove everybody wrong. Those are doubters, but this whole Tebow thing, people just making it out to be more than it is. I've seen some comparisons with him and Colin Kaepernick and saying, well, how can Tebow get an opportunity and Colin Kaepernick hasn't got an opportunity? Well, let's be honest. Colin Kaepernick has got an opportunity, and he turned it down. He didn't like what the NFL presented to him, so he turned it down. And for good reason. His lawyers urged him not to sign that waiver, and he didn't participate where they wanted him to. He changed it and went somewhere else. So Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL because he doesn't want to be in the NFL. It's not because he's been blackballed, because he's had his opportunities. Now, Tim Tebow got this opportunity for one reason and one reason only. Urban Meyer. That's why he got the opportunity. If Urban Meyer is not in the NFL, Tim Tebow is not on the NFL field today. He's not signed by any team. And you could say the same about Colin Kaepernick. Jim Harbaugh there was whispers about him coming back to the NFL and leaving Michigan. He ended up re-upping with Michigan and staying there. So you don't think that once he came back to the NFL, Colin wanted an opportunity? He wouldn't at least brought Colin into camp. Colin would have got an opportunity wherever Jim would have went. So I have no problem with Urban Meyer signing running backs that he's coached in college, signing coaches that he wants, signing old players that he knows, bringing in personnel that he knows. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Hire all strangers? Like, no. You put your people on. You get into a advantageous position. You put your people on. Now, this is the thing. Once you put your people on, you better be successful when you put your people on, though.
Well,
You got to be successful. You got to win.
let me say this. On Wednesday, as you say, the focus will not be on Lawrence. The focus will be on Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to be able to mask it. Even in this one little practice, we get 2 days to watch them practice. And it'll be by Thursday, every media member will know if this is going to work or is this just like a gimmick, because he's not going to be able to mask. If he legitimately can play tight end, then we're going to see it. We're going to see it at practice. I mean, you can't, if he go out and even on just, it don't even have to be 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. If they go through some passing drills and it's like he's not in position to catch the ball, or the ball coming in, or he's not making catches, or he's not running routes right, or any of that, then that's the telltale sign that this may not work out. But number one, this guy didn't come back I mean, you can't discount Tim Tebow as not being smart.
Yeah.
And he retired in February from playing professional baseball. I think he's been working. I'm hearing right now he's at 255. I mean, that's probably the biggest he's ever been. And he's had 3 workouts with the Jaguars. So this is not Urban. Urban is not going to do something, number one, that if it ain't leading to a win or there's a potential for a win, he ain't interested. He's not a guy. I mean, I'm learning him, and a lot of people are learning him, because obviously he's going from that college situation to the NFL situation. But Urban Meyer understands he's got a bullseye on his back, man. There's some NFL coaches that don't like some guy coming in from the college ranks. They don't care about no 3 national championships. They don't care what he did at Florida. They don't care about any of that. They're going to go in there and take it to him. And it's almost like a college coach. I'm not going to let this college coach go for a year, for his first year or 2 around the league. He's going to be known as a college coach, and they're going to go after him. And this guy, if you don't know anything else about Urban Meyer is all about winning. He don't care about no friendships. He don't care about, and he said it. He's already said that. Hey, we drafted Travis Etienne and we're gonna probably sign Tim Tebow because I think they can help us win. If he didn't think they were gonna help him, he wouldn't have drafted Etienne, or he wouldn't have signed. It doesn't matter about, they got a great relationship and they live down the street from each other. The guy, all he cares about is winning. You can see it on the practice field. I mean, but if it doesn't work out, he's also not, I don't think he's going to be this guy to just save face. I made a mistake, but I'm not going to tell the world I'm making a mistake, and I'm going to keep him on the roster. Because as bad as the tight end position is, that room is, they don't need they don't need a fill-in guy for a roster spot. That room is that bad. There's obviously something that he's shown in those 3 workouts that he had with the Jaguars that he can deliver. And another thing, Brandon, I don't think he's gonna be just the typical tight end. I think he's gonna play H-back. I think he's gonna line up in different spots. They might go jumbo set, and he might be an extra tackle on the right side. But he's going to find ways for Tebow to contribute. And who knows, he might take a direct snap or 2 or something.
I can see it.
But he's a weapon. And the more weapons the Jaguars have, is better for the Jaguars. I mean, that's the problem the last couple of years with Doug Marrone. Didn't have enough weapons. 3rd down, 2nd down, 1st down. Oh, we're going to give the ball to James Robinson. We're going to try to throw it downfield to DJ Chalk. I mean, you almost could figure out what they can do by watching their game tape. When this guy coming in, I can see right now, you don't know what they're going to do before the ball snaps.
Yeah.
Because he's going to line guys up all the different, and they're not going to do the same thing week to week. So I think he sees Tim Tebow as a weapon that, and I think if it works out, then I think he's going to be a guy that the defense might have to concentrate on. And ultimately, I don't think it's wrong for a guy to come in. I mean, the guy will run through a wall or whatever his impact can be as a leader on a young team. And Urban Meyer's here for his first year, and I don't think nothing wrong. Hey, even if it's just a little bit to take some of the pressure off the quarterback, because when the open media session for us to go watch them practice Wednesday, we're not. I mean, we're gonna be looking at Trevor Lawrence, but we want to know can this guy play, which is Tim Tebow. He will be the story next week when that practice opens. So. If Urban want to take the pressure off his rookie quarterback, so be
Yeah.
it.
I've been seeing. I saw Greg McElroy. I think he said it today that the Jets tried to put him at tight end, put Tebow at tight end, and said he was terrible. Like he wasn't good. He wasn't good at it. I mean, and that was years ago. I mean, he's grown since then. I'm pretty sure he's been working tirelessly. He wasn't sitting on the couch once Urban got hired and thought to himself, I want to be a tight end, and then start to go out and run and practice as a tight end. I think he's been doing this for a while, even though it does compare to those that's been doing it for a lifetime almost. But I think he's going to be fully prepared for his opportunity. I think when I saw him walking into practice, he looks like he's in great shape. Looks like he can play right now. He looks like he's in great shape. But we're going to see. I think the one who's going to ride him the most out of all people, who's going to ride Tebow the most on this, is Shannon. Because Shannon takes it as disrespect. Shannon Sharp takes Tebow playing tight end as disrespect. He does.
But that's why he's behind the mic. It don't even matter what Shannon Sharp says. Man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Shannon say, what? Why you just won't let him be the team chaplain then? Why you got to play tight end?
Well, man, if you go on Twitter, and there's a lot of guys. It's a lot of guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the league that don't like this. They don't like a guy who couldn't make the roster of two teams, the Eagles and the Patriots, hadn't even suited up in shoulder pads since 2015, and get an opportunity to and a lot of people essentially say that he's already made the roster. So that doesn't bode well with a lot of players, and they're thinking that he's got privilege and those kind of things. But I'm telling you, you can't match. I mean, you can't hide. Like you can hide a guy who's coming out of 3-year retirement and he played offensive guard. You can hide that a little bit, and at least for practice. Yeah. You get beat on a pass rush often, then we'll know about it that this guy's horrible. But to play tight end, and he's got to catch. He's got to run a route. He's got to block. He ain't never done those things before. So it's like, if I see those things not being done, then I'm gonna have to report that, man, this don't look like it's working.
Right.
But but I don't see anything wrong with, it's May. If it doesn't work, it's a long time between May and September. If they would have signed Tebow the week of week 1 and have him practice for 2 days or whatever it is, and then thrust them out there on the field, that's privilege. That's what you call privilege.
That is.
This is what you call, I want to see what this guy got. And I want to see him in game situation, which is preseason. They got 3 preseason games. And he's got to earn his way. I mean, I don't think that Urban going to just say, hey, You the 53rd man on my roster, no matter what. I don't think there's been no promises, and
No.
I think he's got a he's a I mean, it's like they signed 6 undrafted free agents. Tim Tebow ain't no different than those 6 that they signed after the draft.
Yeah.
They got to earn their spot too. So if it's competition going on, and the guy is the 5th tight end in the room, and he's got to work his way up the ladder, and we get an opportunity to see if he's making progress or not, or we can talk about he's not making progress or he's making progress. I mean, it's an open book. If it was a closed book and it's already in the season and that kind of thing, then yeah, he is privileged to be on the roster. But this guy is going to have a lot of eyes on him. He's going to have a lot of game. I mean, those preseason games may not matter to Trevor Lawrence, but it's going to matter to Tim Tebow,
Yep.
and he's going to have to earn the right to play in front of the nation. And that's not privilege. That's that he's got an opportunity, and it's in front of everyone to see if he rise to that challenge or he falls in the challenge. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't either, man. And it brings a little buzz. Also brings a little buzz outside of on the field. It brings a little buzz to the city. It drums up more interest. Trevor Lawrence already had created some buzz. As soon as we got a number 1 pick, you could feel it. You could feel it in the city. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence coming to town. You can feel it. Now Tebow brings out a little bit more of that, brings out a little more excitement. There's going to be a few more cameras here in training camp and in the preseason games than usual because ESPN is invested in this story. Fox Sports is invested in this story. I mean, I think I've seen a headline about Tim Tebow on CNN. Like everybody's invested in this story because they want to see if this is going to work out. And I don't think if Tim wasn't confident in his ability to at least go out there and be okay or be decent or produce somewhat, I don't think he attempts this because he knows the spotlight is going to be bright on him.
Yeah, and he's not playing quarterback. I mean, to be honest, if you go back to those days at Florida, there was scouts saying that he should have entered as a tight end. They were making that suggestion. So I just don't think all this, May football is a whole lot different than August football. And believe me, it's different. They out there running around in shorts, man. It's not, I mean, we won't know until he take a hit until July. But
yeah,
hey, I think it's a much ado by nothing. I really feel, and I don't know Urban Meyer personally or anything like that. But believe me, man, you don't win 3 national championships by taking things for granted. And he ain't taking that roster spot for granted. And he gonna work Tim Tebow just like he gonna work James O'Shaughnessy. And if James O'Shaughnessy don't catch a pass or don't do or run a wrong route, it's not gonna be, it's okay. He's not gonna tell Tim that, hey man, you won 2 national championships for you. It's okay. Try harder. It's like, hey, if he doesn't do it, he ain't gonna be around. He won't make the roster. Another thing about Urban is all over the field, man. I mean, they meet like I believe they had like impromptu position meetings on the field after each of those stations, man. So he's hands on. He's watching. He's coaching. He's telling guys. I mean, I'm seeing hands going this way when he's explaining and doing this. So I just don't think this guy gonna just allow things to go because hey, I live on the same street as Tim Tebow. I think he scrutinized, monitor. He does everything, and it's all about the winning. There's no substitute for winning, even in May.
yeah. It's not, man. It's not. So, Now, what have you seen with this ETN playing wide receiver? Because when they announced him playing wide receiver, man, they caught so much crap on Twitter, Instagram, and all this. You draft the running back to play wide receiver, and I'm like, and I had guys calling me, and I'm like, guys, you can't see the forest through the trees. Like, come on, man. This is just a way for ETN to get on the field. This is a way to get him on the field and get the ball in his hands early and often, because James Robinson is going to tote the mail. I'm pretty sure that's obvious early on, is he's going to tote the mail. ETN is a third down back. How can we get the ball in his hands in other ways and get him opportunities on the field? You know, they said one of the reasons why a running back will struggle getting on the field, especially as a young back, is pass protection. Pass protection keeps young backs off the field because, hey, teams know we're going to run the football when you're in the game because you can't pass protect, you know? Yeah. So, but this is a way for ETN to show his receiving skills. Like, Pro Football Focus had him as the number one running back as far as receiving. And his receiving grade was higher than a lot of receivers in college football. So the dude can play the position. He's an explosive athlete. He's incredibly smart. He's durable. So, and then right after that, now, a couple of days after that, Pittsburgh playing Najee Harris at wide receiver. I said, thank you. Come on, thank you. It's not just the Jaguars. Please stop with it, because they were like, oh, here go the same old Jags. You playing your number one round running back at wide receiver. That's dumb. Here go Pittsburgh. We're playing Najee Harris at wide receiver as well. So come on, man. Come on with that.
Like I say, nothing wrong working him, see. And he's gonna play something on the outside, man. I mean, it's not gonna be something that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen like every snap.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be used as a weapon. He's gonna play in the slot. He's gonna play outside. He's gonna run jet sweeps. He's gonna be a weapon. I mean, you look at the old previous Urban Meyer teams. I mean, that's what he does. That's what he wants. Curtis Samuels. If you go back, I mean, he has that guy that he could be like his multi-purpose threat. And like this, you know, for fans in Jacksonville, this should be a celebration.
Yes, it should.
Because just having a guy that can be a weapon, and not only that, to be a consistent weapon, hasn't happened. You know, I mean, this guy is going to draw the attention of the defense, and who knows, he might even be a decoy, you know. But, man, having a guy that I can swing out wide, take the focus. I mean, who gonna cover him? A cornerback or a linebacker? Whatever it does, is making DJ Chark to be open because he's taking away something. And hey, football is chess game, man. You got to use your pieces, and if you got a running back who can fast enough that can take that quarterback downfield, then what that makes you have on the other side of the field. So for Jacksonville fans, man, I wouldn't be complaining about, I drafted a guy 25th overall who was an ACC, you know, leading rusher in history, and he's playing him at receiver. I mean, come on, man. This guy is a receiver, a slot receiver, a running back, a guy who's going to run. Who knows? He might take direct snaps and do some RPOs.
You never know.
But whatever it is, he's going to draw the attention of the defense. He's that good. So, hey, man, I trust what this guy's doing, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the what lets you know how he's going to use ETN is him saying that Kadarius Toney going before 25 broke his heart. Yeah. Because he was salivating at the things he was going to draw up for Kadarius Toney and that speed. But he got ETN fall to him, and he's looking at ETN like, hey, ETN can do some of those same things. You know, he's a bigger player. So, like, even with the corners, he's going to be able to run over those corners, and he's going to run away from the linebackers. So, you got. I mean, it's common sense, really. It's common sense, really. I mean, you got a guy who you can play him early at running back, and as he at wide receiver, and as he gets comfortable as running back, he'll eat into James Robinson's carries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But just having a guy that versatile, and he's basically a Swiss Army knife. I mean, in free agency they tried to go to get a Curtis Samuels. They didn't get him. They struck out. But I mean, just it ain't even going to matter if the Jaguars are averaging 30 points a game. They got no red zone issues. And this guy, if he's a passing threat or a running threat, and he's getting plenty getting yards after the catch, or he's averaging 6 yards a carry as a running back, that's why I say May football is a whole lot different than September football. So if the stats fall in there, then he's gonna be considered a genius. The head coach,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man. So I just the noise that I hear, him signing Tebow, and then him putting ETN at wide receiver, him signing players and personnel that he knows. I mean, all he has to do is win. At the end of the day, that's all he has to do. All he has to do is win. It's not going to matter. And what's funny is, he has a microscope on him because it's a unique situation, but he's not doing anything different from other coaches. Coaches, the same, all the moves that he's made as far as his personnel and familiarity with them, all coaches have done it. All coaches are still doing it to this day. They're doing it right now. So I didn't understand the grief they were giving him for, having familiarity with the personnel that he wanted, coaching and players. But, that's people, like they said, like Trevor Lawrence. No, there were no Trevor Lawrence doubters until the Jaguars got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So
like that small market, 9 losing seasons in 10 years. Just the reputation of this franchise not being a consistent winner. All the moves won't be questioned. And if they come out, if the Jaguars come out the gate 0-3, it's gonna be like the worst. I mean, they're already gonna say, "Oh, he made a mistake. He should have went to Texas. He came back here. He can't change the franchise. What have they done to Trevor Lawrence?" I can see all that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy got a 7-year contract, man. It's like, you think that you think Khan gonna say, "I made a mistake in hiring him"?
Right.
Hey, as long as Dave Caldwell is not the GM, and I say this with conviction, as long as he's not the GM, this franchise will never be as bad as they've been.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would say, Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, talent-wise, like draft-wise,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what they would have done if the same regime was in, what they would have targeted. Who knows? They may not even taken a quarterback at number 1. I mean, that's being facetious, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. They might have traded that. They would have traded up, and who knows? They would have had a trade with Green Bay.
I was about to bring that up. You beat me to the punch. I
would have went into the draft if that regime was still there. I would have still had doubts all the way leading up to the draft that either he would have traded that pick for a veteran quarterback, or who knows? And even if they had it, who's to say they would have drafted Trevor Lawrence? He might have would have thought that, I don't know, Trey Lance was better.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny, but you're not wrong. That's the thing, man. You're not wrong, because we don't know. We don't know what the previous regime would have done, man, because the outside of Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
I mean, and especially in the first round, He was good in the later rounds, but in the first round, outside of Jalen Ramsey.
But you know what? I tell you, I give you an example of Dave Caldwell. If you was to go back to the Fiesta Bowl of the year that Blake Bortles played for UCF, if you listen to the broadcasters, they specifically saying that his mechanics they're a little off. You know, they're off. You're gonna have to. He's gonna have to work on fixing his mechanics. So, if you the third overall pick, just imagine you the third overall pick, and your mechanics are off, and you gotta fix like the most important thing about the quarterback even before he get to town. You don't think that's a red flag as a third? Now it might be different if he's a 10th overall pick or 5th overall pick, and also your positioning as a franchise. Even back then, you know they've already made mistakes at quarterback with Blaine Gabbert. So you don't want any hitches, any misses. And what does he do? He goes draft him based on one workout. You know, he had a great pro day. You know, from what I heard, he had a great pro day. But man, come on, man. You can't draft Blaine Gabbert and come back and draft another mistake. And even though he had nothing to do with Blaine, but you can't do it.
Yeah, no, you can't do it. But hopefully, all of that is behind us. We can focus on. We can focus on Trevor Lawrence and him throwing touchdown passes to Etienne, Chark, Laviska, Marvin Jones, and dare I say Tim Tebow. Like, you know, we don't have to worry about that no more, man. But I think that, like you say about Urban, the thing that gives me confidence going forward and Trevor Lawrence becoming the best player he can possibly be, and the franchise taking off, is Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer is going to maximize the talents of Trevor Lawrence. I think that's the most important part of this whole thing. We could talk about Tim Tebow at tight end. You could talk about ETN. You could talk about the offensive line. You could talk about the defense. You could talk about all those things. But what it comes down to is the development of Trevor Lawrence. You have to develop Trevor Lawrence. And I think that Urban Meyer is going to get the best out of him. Because just look at his track record and look at all the quarterbacks he's had. The best one of the bunch was Alex Smith up until now. Trevor Lawrence automatically comes in, and he's the best prospect that he's coached at quarterback. You know, now, can he end up being the best out of all of them? Of course, I think so. I think he's going to end up being the best. But look at Urban Meyer and what he did with those quarterbacks. He got the absolute best out of all the quarterbacks that he had. You know, I forgot. I don't know if it was Marshall Faulk or somebody where they were talking about none of his quarterbacks were successful in the NFL. None of his quarterbacks were NFL players except for Alex Smith and Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
Yeah. Tim Tebow was not an NFL quarterback, even coming in and getting drafted first by the Denver Broncos. When they drafted him, I was like, "What are they doing? That's too high. That was too high." But that's why I got confidence, man. Urban Meyer is going to get the best out of Trevor Lawrence.
And he's gonna get the best out of those players. I tell you what, I watched the video of the Jaguars video, and they had it of the offensive line. And I'm looking at that video, and I see Andrew Norwell. Man, he looked like he done put on like at least 15 pounds. He's gritting his teeth. He's pushing the blocking dummy. Man, I ain't never seen Andrew Norwell, and this is made and look that determined and that effort on the field, and it's because of the coach.
Well, how much DJ Chark? How much? What he put on 10 pounds?
I don't think he's been out there. He's a new daddy. He's like the only one that hadn't showed up yet.
Yeah, but I know he had put on 10 pounds from, I guess, whatever workouts they were doing. You could just tell there's a different fire. Shaquille Griffin had a quote, too. He said that you guys believe in Urban Meyer program. They believe in it. You know?
To the level, man. I mean, this is a whole different – I think this is a whole different thing, man. I think these guys – I mean, when you – and it ain't all about Urban Meyer. It's about – he hired these assistant coaches, and he's basically putting the pressure on assistant coaches. he's leaving it up to them for each position. That if you don't get these guys playing up the level, it's going to be on you. Your job is on the line, even in May. And the last time I seen anything like that, it's down there with the Dolphins. And I think that coach done pretty well with that type of pressure. Because that's what he's doing with the Dolphins. You don't show, you don't play hard, you don't coach right. I mean, he fired their offensive line coach, I think his first year there, and they may not even been 2 weeks in the training camp, and he fired the guy.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah.
You know? And he's already said it.
Yeah, Brian Flores. Flores has made
real deal, man.
I say that he's been so good up until this point. It's hard to question the decisions he's making because they worked. Every decision that he's made so far, it has worked. So that's why I hope Tua succeeds, because Brian Flores has no issue moving on from Tua if he ain't that guy. None. He doesn't seem like he has any issue.
But you can see that last season. Hey, if Brian Fitzpatrick can give me a better chance to win, I don't care about no draft picks. I want to win.
Yeah.
You know, Tua had to wait his time. You know, what he was, the 5th overall pick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. So yeah, he's got to wait his time. But man, we hour 11 in. I didn't even realize we had been on this long, man. But talking about the Jaguars, you could do that all day because it's always something. It's always the storyline. You know, it's always good or bad. It's always something.
When they were losing, there was a storyline.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. All my information down at the bottom. Follow Mr. Reid on Twitter. What else? You got Twitter? You got anything else?
Nah, man. I got Jacksonville.com.
Hey, Twitter, and he posts his articles at Jacksonville.com and the Florida Times-Picayune. There you go.
Subscribe, man. Just get them subscriptions.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I had a nice little bump. Last week. I had jumped 10 subscribers. So I was like, man, that's something.
That's all right.
Yeah, man. So hey, I got to keep it going, man. I got to keep it going. Got to hone this talent and get better and better each show. 1% better every time. That's what I'm striving for.
Yes, sir.
Man. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. But man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. But we're gonna be out of here. We're gonna see y'all next time. Peace out.